Hey, everybody, welcome to Testimony Thursday. And today's testimony is titled, How God Has Blessed Me. And this man says, like many of you here, I was raised in a Christian household, but until recently, I hadn't seen the blessings I've been experiencing. 2 years ago, my life was falling apart. My wife stepped out of our marriage. Things at work were unbearable and unfulfilling. The stresses I felt I was taking out on my family. I wasn't being an attentive husband or father. I was ready to walk away from everything. One night, I was talking with my mom and asked her where things went wrong. Being the faithful woman she is, she asked me when was the last time that I spoke to God. Admittedly, it had been a very long time. She prayed with me that night, and we asked God to be present in my life and guide me in the next season. By the encouragement of my mom, sister, and in laws, I started to attend life group and worship services. During this time, I knew I needed to focus on myself and let God do his work in me. Slowly but surely, I started noticing things were changing in my life. My relationship with my son became stronger, and my wife started seeing me in a different way. Things at work also started changing for the better. I also was baptized during this time also. Around Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2020, my wife and I had started communicating better, and things had come to an end with her affair. We decided to talk and lay everything out on the table and make a decision if our marriage was salvageable. We decided it was and started dating. We reconciled our relationship and have been happily together since. Also, things at work improved dramatically. Within the last few months, I had applied for a specialized position and was denied multiple times. I became very discouraged but never gave up on my faith. My family and I prayed together seeking God's guidance, and just yesterday I was chosen for a better position than the one I was denied for. God truly is amazing. The biggest life lesson I learned was to trust in God's plan, and He will provide what He wants you to have. And it's funny because we were actually just talking about this in our latest episode that we just recorded. That's going to be coming out this Saturday. That again, this is something that you can't really tell people. They have to experience it for themselves. And again, this man here was going through so many things. And the second he was like, all right, I am just going to go work on myself in my walk with Jesus and in God, suddenly things start falling into place that are meant to be, that are good for you, that God, wants for you when you finally let go and let God.
Like you said, we were talking about it in, our episode, like where I personally I let go. I let God. And now I'm happily married with two children.
Yep.
And if you knew me like 7+ years ago, I did
Goodness.
not see that coming at all, like
Night and
in
day.
any way or form. And but it's amazing how he works in, your life. And the other thing is that, like, I mean, in this example with this gentleman, sorry, my happy baby squeals over there. Um, with this gentleman, he was applying for a specific position and was denied it. And sometimes the answer is no for a reason
Yeah.
because he's got something better in store for you. You may think, I want this. But he's like, okay, you may want that, but I've got something better over there if you would let go of that.
Yeah.
And it's that happens all too often with us. And like I'll say that about when I had my son. And I
Mhm.
say that because for 2 years, for 2 long
Yes.
years,
Yeah.
I prayed and prayed and prayed that I could give my husband a son. I prayed, you know, I prayed about it. I talked to God about it. I I did everything. I had my husband praying about it. I even went, like as far as, tracking all the things the way that I was supposed to track them so that they
Yeah.
lined up perfectly and no, still no. Yes, I'm talking about you. It was still, it wasn't even a no. It was a not yet,
Not yet.
not yet. And in all honesty, with all the things that we went through in those 2 years, all the stresses, the struggles, the job changes, the moving from Colorado back to Texas,
Yeah.
all of those things were very, very, very hard on all of us. So it's like, I think I look back on it now and I'm like, there was no room in that madness for a baby.
And you're completely right. I mean, the second you got to Texas, it was like, I'm pregnant, guys. And it's just like, oh my goodness. Like,
Yeah, the week after we moved to Texas,
yeah,
I was pregnant and I
yeah,
found out, I want to say a couple weeks later, I remember I FaceTimed you
yeah.
and with the pregnancy test going, do you see this? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And
And it
it
worked
was
out perfectly in his time.
in his time, not
Yeah.
in mine, because Lord knows that I'm impatient. I was so impatient when it came to that.
Yes. And I mean, another thing that I want to say about this is I think that this is a perfect example of how in our marriage that we're supposed to put God first, and that when we put God first, things fall into line. Okay, I'm not excusing the fact that, there were some terrible things happening in his life. I mean, his wife having an affair. I don't know how anyone gets through that. And I mean, the strength that this man had to go to God and work on, himself and God, and the fact that his wife, came back to him through that is unbelievable.
It's just that though. You say the strength of this man. No, that's the strength of this man stopped where human strength stops. And that's where God
100%.
steps in. And where our strength ends, that's where God steps in.
Yes.
And that's absolutely how anybody people talk about that all the time. How does anyone get through that? They don't.
They don't.
He's the one who carries us through those things. You
Yes.
know, and I mean, and that's not just in, marriage, that's or relationships, that's also in friendships, that's in family, like affairs and, like all these things that take place and even just day-to-day, like interactions, but like it's just that. It's
Mhm.
how does someone get through that?
God.
I can even speak to like my years in mine, our friendship, how that even became a thing again
Seriously.
after everything.
So many people were
'Cause
like, what on earth? And we were like, we found out that we were meant to be best friends. What is wrong with y'all? Like,
right, but see, but you and I have to admit, it took us some time. It didn't
it did.
happen like that.
No, it
It
did. Yeah.
on the outside, it looked like it happened like that from the outside looking in. But what a lot of people don't know is there was a lot of like turmoil and tears that came out of that whole, like process.
Yes.
And but I think through it all, one thing that we kept holding on to was the fact that we both loved God, but we both loved and cared for each other so much.
Yes.
And that God was like, well, if you trust me, I'll get you through this. And he did.
Yes.
And that was definitely one of those things that I can say personally, like, was a very big, like, trial in my life because
Just a little bit.
well, not even that, I couldn't like, we had spent every day for how many years together. I couldn't fathom life without you in it. And
Yes.
not even just from that standpoint of the relationship, just because you were a person that I wanted in my life because
Same.
with all the bad that, we did deal with on both sides, there was so much good that did come from it
Yeah.
initially.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, that was our Testimony Thursday. If you have a testimony that you would like us to cover, please send it in to jesus.coffee.yarn11@gmail.com and we will cover that on Thursdays. But until next time, guys, Jesus loves you. Bye, guys.